If you were to drive the 2-mile stretch of Main Street that follows the route of Indiana Highway 22, you might think that Gas City, Indiana is just another friendly Midwestern town. But this town has a secret. Something used to be buried here, hundreds of feet beneath the pavement and dirt. Something that made men millionaires. Something that spurred families to pack their belongings and move halfway around the world. Something that lit up the night sky for 20 miles in every direction. This city is a boom town, just like the ones that littered the Old West after the discovery of gold. But as you might guess from its name, Gas City didn't promise the glittering riches of precious metals. This town exploded after the discovery of natural gas. When Noah Harris first plotted this town in May of 1867, no one knew about the vast reserves of natural gas buried beneath the soil, not even Harris. If he had known, perhaps the local fur trader would have named his new-founded town Gas City. Instead, he called the area around the banks of the Mississippi River Harrisburg. Only months after the town was founded, something exciting came rolling through Harrisburg, the tracks that would later become the Pennsylvania Railroad. Headquartered out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, it took the rail line over 20 years to extend its service to Harrisburg. Its arrival helped stimulate the area's economy for the next decade as lumber mills and other small businesses contributed to the track's development. But soon the growth of the small town of Harrisburg slowed, like a train approaching its station. Just when the town seemed to be disappearing, a noise was heard in Grant County that propelled the area right into the industrial age, the low, unmistakable hiss of natural gas. The Gas City Land Company was formed on March the 21st, 1892. The next day, Harrisburg was renamed Gas City.
The Pennsylvania Railroad was a big one in changing the name of Gas City from Harrisburg to Gas City, because they had two Harrisburgs on their line. One was in Pennsylvania, one was in Indiana, but they didn't think that was good business.
Even though the town was one of the last in the area to begin drilling, its late arrival to the gas scene didn't hinder its growth. Just 5 months after the creation of the Gas City Land Company, 8 large factories had begun production, requiring a workforce of over 3,600 people.
When they came to Gas City, on the way here, the conductor would holler out, "Gas City, Indiana," and that was the biggest stop between Chicago and Louisville, Kentucky. Believe it or not, I mean, that's hard to believe now.
The city needed a place to house its thousands of newly arrived workers, and no one could build homes fast enough. Instead, the city decided to build a massive stone structure that would tower along Main Street and provide housing for the onslaught of factory employees, the Mississippi Hotel. As they arrived in Gas City by the trainload, newcomers saw the fiery pillars of light as evidence that the area's supply of gas would never end.
Gas derricks would put off light 20 miles any one direction. So you've got to stop and remember that Gas City had them, Marion, Fairmount, Upland, and Van Buren, any of the small towns had gas derricks, and they were burning.
But something unexpected happened as Gas City neared the turn of the century. The gas began to go away. The resource everyone thought would last forever was drying up.
They had gas lights all up and down Main Street. They burned 24 hours. They figured they would never run out of gas. People had gas porch lights, and that's what happened to the gas. It just got burned up, wasted during daylight hours.
Factories started closing, businesses began shutting their doors, and by 1910, the gas was gone.
People started leaving. That was the big thing. They couldn't get work here. The plants were closing up because there was no gas, and it just started dwindling like the beginning of a ghost town.
Only 2 factories survived the loss of the natural gas that powered their operations, Thompson and U.S. Glass. Over time, the factories were bought and sold by different companies, but always retained the same local workforce that would sustain Gas City for the next 100 years.
They started as U.S. Glass and Thompson, and then through the years the names changed. But as they went out, it was Glass Containers and Owens, Illinois.
It is these very factories that some credit with shaping Gas City into the tightly knit community it is today. The factories weren't only a place to work, they were the foundation of Gas City's social life.
Now, Owens did have a lot of activities for everybody. Now, I remember that, and that was fabulous for the young kids in them days.
They had a family doctor. Anytime a person working at the Owens, their kids would be sick, they could go to the doctor. It wouldn't be no charge.
I don't know why, because the Owens, Illinois was a plant from different states, and why they done it here, I have no idea.
The glass factories held picnics, sponsored baseball teams, even put on variety shows for the city to attend.
It just brought everybody together. I mean, it's just made to everybody. Everybody knows everybody, friends, families, kids growing up here.
The Gas City gas boom began with a burst of flame and ended the same way. On July 21st, 1993, a multi-alarm fire sounded from the former Glass Containers factory, currently being used as a storage space for RCA television sets. The building was engulfed.
They had thousands of big RCA picture tubes in there, and they would explode and melt and just keep right on going. It was a hard fire to control.
Fire departments from Marion, Anderson, Huntington, and Muncie responded to the call, along with the local Gas City Volunteer Fire Department. While the firefighters worked to contain the blaze, the community gathered around the factory to provide the departments with food and water.
The restaurants, drive-ins, everybody around would bring food, free food. We tried to serve food, the auxiliary. This is for 3 days. It was all a community effort.
On the third day, the fire was finally put out. Miraculously, not a single person was harmed. Today, Gas City continues to grow as new businesses and distribution centers choose to locate themselves in the city's friendly atmosphere.
Well, living here all my life, growing up and everything, it just seems like we're all just a big family. And you don't find that in some of these other communities.
With each new development, the citizens of Gas City prove there's still a bright future for their old gas boom town. Beyond the glass factories, beyond the gas.